So in this video that you're about to watch, you'll see me walk around this woodland area. There's some lovely water, there's some lovely autumn colour, and I'm on the hunt for some nice landscape photography images, obviously. But I was very aware today, during the shoot, it's now over, that I was doing three particular things, and it's things that I normally do subconsciously, but just because of the chain of events today, I was pretty aware that I was doing them. And I thought it would be a nice way to start the video by giving you these three important tips, and then as you watch the video you may see me do them, or you can perhaps visualise they're actually happening behind the scenes. But the first thing I'd like you to be aware of is just to keep your options open. So if you're taking a particular image and you're unsure at the time how it will look its best, keep your options open. Will it look better with a really fast shutter speed, freezing motion? Or could it look better with a slower shutter speed, so you're capturing some wind movement in the trees? Would the image look best with or without a polarizer? How about doing a long exposure? So just, if you're unsure, keep your options open. Take a number of images and you can always review them when you get home. If you don't take them, you'll never know. The second tip I'd like to give you is just to take your time and slow down. So if you think a composition's worth taking, just take your time with it. Don't try and get 10 images today, perhaps just get one or two good ones. If it's awkward to get into the spot for a composition, but you can do so safely, take your time and do it. And be very careful as you're setting up the composition. Don't include any extra tree branches or just things you don't want in your image. If you just slow down, you'll probably find that you walk away with a better image. And the third thing that I'd like to encourage you to do is just be very aware of your surroundings. So if the light's not good, it's very easy to walk past what could potentially be a really nice image. But just have a look, be aware of your surroundings as you walk and visualise how a scene may look with nice lighting on it, because perhaps it could be another day, perhaps it may just even be in 10 minutes time, but the sun moves around, clouds move, lighting changes as the day progresses, and that scene that you walk past may now look fantastic. So just be aware that you could potentially go back and capture an image, or things perhaps like at the other side of the water or the other side of a hill, wherever you're at, could now look really good just because the lighting has changed. So be really aware of your surroundings. But I hope these three tips help you if it's not things you know or do already, and I hope you enjoy this video. Yesterday evening I set my alarm for this morning for 5 AM. I got up full of hope. I checked the weather forecast. It was fairly optimistic for a nice sunrise, but unfortunately the weather forecast has been slightly inaccurate for this morning. The nice colours simply haven't appeared in the sky. There's a lot of cloud cover all over, so we just didn't get those nice colours. But I'm still glad I'm out. I'm going to change my plan. I'm simply going to look around for nice compositions. I hope to capture a nice sunrise. That's not happened today, but I've still got lots of other opportunities, so I'm going to keep my eyes open, see what else I can find that interests me. As I'm walking around today, although it's technically into winter, the main things I'm seeing are splashes of autumn colour and also the effects of the very strong wind that we've got today. And this tree behind me here really shows both those characteristics. It's got the autumn colour and it's that wonderful type of tree which is like soft and flowing in the wind. So it's really capturing the wind movement today. It's really having an effect on the motion of this tree. So that's what I'm trying to capture in this image, colour and wind movement. I'm just having a bit of fun with it really. My plans for getting a nice sunrise haven't happened today, so I've changed my tactics. And as I saw this tree, I noticed it was obviously quite nicely framed by the trees to the left and right of it, but when you start to take in too much, I think it detracts from this particular scene. The framing of the trees doesn't really do much for it in my opinion, and you also take in splashes of colour which you're forced to take in at the top right of the frame if you include the framing of the trees. So I've decided to keep this very simple pretty much fill the frame with the tree. It's quite a tall tree, so a 2:3 aspect ratio, it works very nicely here. I don't think I'm going to do any cropping at all. It's just going to be as I've captured it in the camera. But yeah, capture some autumn colour, capture some wind movement, and hopefully get a nice artistic image. You'll have spotted me there at quite a precarious position at the edge of the water. I spotted at the far side some interesting boats. There was a nice hut almost hidden in the trees, and there were some really nice trees with some wonderful colour on them. So I wanted to capture the image. I had to be patient. I had to get down into quite a tricky spot, really take my time in the composition to frame it the way I wanted. And then I had quite a spell of waiting until the light was suitable for the scene. If it was too bright, I was getting a lot of bright reflections in the water, which I didn't want too much of. So hopefully my patience and perseverance there is rewarded. But I've also been paying close attention to the light. The sun is moving around in the sky. Different areas are getting some nice lighting now. So having paid close attention to that, I'm trying to get myself into a different position where I can capitalise on the sun's new position and hopefully get some scenes or compositions with nice lighting on them. So fingers crossed I'll manage to do that. So this is another scene which really appeals to me. I just spotted it as I was walking along through the tree branches, and it's another one that's been very difficult to get set up and get into the correct position. But I spotted on the lake the wonderful signs of autumn. Parts of the trees are falling off and taking these wonderful patterns on the surface of the water. And then over in the distance there is some wonderful colour, and there's also this sort of triangular formation with the colour, the brighter colour, which stands out against the dark. So there's some nice contrast in this scene. Very difficult to get set up. The tripod is not in the most stable position it's ever been in, certainly, but I've got it stable enough to get the image sharp, and I've had to focus stack this one to get the trees in the distance sharp, and also most of the parts of the trees that's on the water sharp as well. So hopeful for this image. It's another one that's took a little bit of effort to get, but yeah, I think it'll be worthwhile if it all comes out the way I want. I've just captured a very simple composition, but it's one which I think really works. Sometimes simple is best. And it's this wonderful delicate tree which sort of gently leans to the left. It's got some wonderful colour on it, and then there's a branch comes out from its base which leans to the right. And just by positioning it carefully in the frame and incorporating some of the patterns on the water, I think it makes for a really powerful yet simple image. And I really like that style of photography. It's the third image I've captured today with my 70-200, the Canon f4L lens. I recently purchased this lens and I did quite a detailed video describing why I bought it and doing some tests of the lens. So if you haven't seen that and you'd like to, I'll leave a link in the description below. But time to pack up and head on and see if I can find anything else. So I found this wonderful scene behind me, and this is probably going to be my last shot for today. It's getting later in the afternoon, the best of the light has now gone, but I think I got this scene in a nice soft lighting, so I captured it while it looked pretty nice. To be honest, the scene does all the talking. I don't really need to do much here in order to get a decent image. The composition obviously needs a little bit of fine tuning, and when I come to crop this image, I'm probably going to make it at least a 16:9, if not a narrower crop. I think that'll really suit the scene behind me here. In terms of filters, I'm using a polarizer simply because it helped get rid of a little bit of the brightness and some of the water behind me, and also bring out the reflections from the sky. That's about it really, not too much to do or worry about in this particular image, but I hope you've enjoyed watching. Thanks so much for your time as usual, and hopefully I'll see you in my next vlog.